What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball. So this is a bit of a strange video. So obviously already today you guys saw that I dropped my season preview video for the Philadelphia 76ers. And I've been mentioning in all my videos, because those were pre-recorded, if anything like major happened, I would make sure I do like a follow-up video kind of addressing all that stuff and giving you guys an update. That way we can be actually prepared for the start of the season. And that's what happened in this case. The Sixers went and made a little move. I actually haven't left for my honeymoon yet, so I have time to go and do this quickly and get it edited so that you guys can see it at the right time and get it all on the same day, so let's dive into it. And by the way, I don't think I really need to address this like this, but if you guys haven't watched like the full season preview video, go watch that one first, and then we'll go talk about this one. It's probably been about a week and a half since I recorded that one. You guys can see down here, it's actually the 19th. So yeah, anyway, let's go and talk about it. Obviously, there was a new addition to the team. Guerschon Yabusele has been added to the Philadelphia 76ers, the Olympic standout, the Frenchman himself, obviously a former Boston Celtic. He was a guy that a lot of people were kind of like, yeah, this guy's got a lot of potential in the NBA. Like, if he could really get it going, and just didn't quite develop probably quickly enough. He went overseas. He's been playing for like Real Madrid and stuff, and he was a real standout for Real Madrid this last year. Those of you that don't know Real Madrid, a team in Spain, one of the best foreign teams that you'll find in the world, and obviously played for Team France. They went to the gold medal game against the U.S., gave him a lot to handle, dunked on LeBron. Yabusele was a big reason for why they got to where they are. I think a lot of us were like, yeah, this guy needs an NBA contract. Again, he needs to be coming back. And the Philadelphia 76ers picked him up. I think it makes a ton of sense. So let's go through the roster, like the updated breakdown and everything. So before the Yabusele signing, they had about $9 million left before they hit the second apron, which was pretty awesome considering the level of contention that the Philadelphia 76ers find themselves in. And we were talking about before, because they had what was 2 open roster spots. Now they only have 1 with Yabusele added to the team. We were like, wow, yeah, they're not going to hit the second apron because they're only going to offer 2 minimum contract guys, and that's going to be big time for them. And one of the things that we talked about is, hey, they need to add a wing, and that's exactly what they did. So I threw Yabusele here as kind of like the reserve small forward, the first kind of like wing off the bench, and I think that makes a lot of sense. It's actually something that we talked about here at the beginning, was like, hey, one of the goals is we need to find more size at the wing, and that's what we find with Yabusele. I'm pretty sure he comes in at 6'7", maybe like just a bit under 6'7", but he's got a big wingspan. He's big, he's strong, can keep people in front of him, and that's really all that they really needed, was just another wing on this team. Because I think when you look at like this lineup that I kind of drew up for them, I'm like, at least my vision is, okay, like you've got your 1s and your 5s, right? And then the rest of the team, let's try to make them as versatile as possible. And we were a little bit concerned because you got like Eric Gordon, Jared McCain, like they're kind of similar players in the sense that, like, okay, you can't really play them at the point guard a ton, but they're a bit of undersized 2s. Like, obviously, both good catch and shoot guys, so they still have their value in that sense, and they both tend to get their hands into the passing lanes. That's awesome, right? And you're not moving like Lowry or Reggie Jackson over too much. Like, you just don't really want to. I know they played Maxey and Lowry together at times, but it was like, okay, so where are they going to find another wing? Because we were looking at some of the options, and they weren't quite there. Yabusele, I think, is a phenomenal pickup for them, and I think he'll actually find his way into the rotation. Like, he's going to have to compete for his rotation spot and everything, there's no doubt. But seeing what he was able to do in the Olympics, putting the ball on the floor, being able to stretch the floor when he was playing for Real Madrid to some extent, and obviously the ability to cut and play off of people, like, I don't know. I just think it makes a ton of sense. He's used to playing next to a ball-dominant big between like or playing with Wemby now. So I maybe that's a stretch of a bit because it's such a small amount of time. But you know, he's able to play with other stars, and he's able to go and create his own stuff when he needs to. So I'm excited about this addition. Obviously, they still have 1 roster spot open. So what do they go and fill it with? Like, it would make sense to add another wing if possible. I don't know who that is. Like, maybe it's just a Doug McDermott or something, again, so that they could have more catch and shoot options. But I don't think it would be the worst idea to just go get another center as well. Obviously, Embiid is injury prone. Drummond is very solid, and then Bone is a rookie. So I don't think it'd be the worst idea to try to go find like another big to throw onto this team. That's kind of my interpretation up to this point, because look, if you really need to go small, you move Caleb Martin over or something like that. You move Eric Gordon up. Jared McCain can play some minutes. If you have to play Lowry and Maxey together, I guess you do it. In an ideal world where nobody gets hurt, I'd like to add another wing to this team, but I think probably adding another big makes some sense for them for that last spot. Someone with a little bit more experience, maybe a little springiness wouldn't be the worst thing. Kind of an agile center, just because they don't really have one of those. I'm not sure who that is. Maybe a Bismack Biyombo or something like that, but just a thought. But anyway, let's talk about rotation a little bit. So before, when we did this, I had KJ Martin as like a ninth man for them, and I still think KJ Martin could very well be getting some minutes for these guys. I like his game a lot, but I do think Yabusele probably, if I had to guess off the bat, is going to get those minutes. I still see like Lowry, Gordon, Drummond as obvious early ones for them, but I mean, given some of his ability, I'd love to see Yabusele work his way higher up into this rotation so that we can get this Caleb Martin, Oubre, PG, Yabusele kind of quadrant of switchable wings that you can just kind of play on multiple people. That way you do have some size out there at all times on the wings. You can kind of overpower some of the smaller teams out there, and that gives you a really good rotation if you're trying to beat the Boston Celtics, right, who have a lot of those guys that they're going to be throwing out there. So I think that they're building this team in the correct way now, and it's like, okay, yeah, no, this could have been a missing piece for them if this is a guy that works out into general rotation minutes. If we can take a look at his international stats quick, I mean, 9 points a game, like that's solid enough. He's only playing about 20-ish minutes. Again, a lot of times in foreign basketball, like they just don't play the younger guys quite as much. And I mean, how old is he? Oh, geez, is he 28 now? Oh, fair enough. Well, still 20-ish minutes. That sounds about right. Still shot 39% from 3 on not a ton of attempts, but still something. Shot near 60% from 2, which is great. Was solid enough from the free throw line. And obviously we saw what he can do in the Olympics against the best players. I can't really stress that enough. So that's kind of where I see him fitting, is like here for now. Again, I can't stress enough how good I think he could be for this team. I don't think it really changes their standings at all. So I think I'm going to keep them where they're at, which for those of you that didn't see the other video, which I don't know why you're watching this one before that one, but I have the Sixers as the 4 here. I think that's still an appropriate place for them. I don't think he pushes the needle too much. But again, when you're thinking about a potential Celtics Sixers like second round or something like that, like a guy like Yabusele could go so far for this team. So I feel like we've addressed something now, which is like fine size at the wing. So maybe we're saying that that's kind of accomplished now, right? Like maybe we kind of did that and we feel good about that. So what does it become now? Well, let's figure out a rotation, figure out if Yabusele's part of it, right? So I think we're already starting to go in the right direction for the Philadelphia 76ers. One roster spot left. How are we going to use it? Are we searching for something at the trade deadline because we haven't hit the second apron yet, so we can still have some flexibility? I don't know, but the Sixers are in a good spot. You guys should feel good about them. And hey, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment to my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. A reminder, I'm just going to do these little update ones to kind of try to build off the big videos as things change. Want to make sure we're staying updated up until the start of like preseason and keep you guys entertained up until that point. But hey, really appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye.